Hi, welcome to AI Sanity, where we discuss the sane part of AI. And boy, the past couple of weeks, the past month, the month of February, has seen even more insanity when it comes to AI. Recently, there was a big AI summit held in India where a lot of really quote unquote important billionaires and AI leaders met. Let's see how that went.
We're increasingly close to what I've called a country of geniuses in a data center, a set of AI agents that are more capable than most humans at most things and can coordinate at superhuman speed. That level of capability is something the world has never seen before and brings a very wide range of both opportunities and concerns for humanity.
That was Dario Amodei reading his phone and maybe reading off his chatbot Claude, but it didn't get much better than that. After that, a lot of grandiosity, a lot of discussion, and you know what's striking is that there were very few people there who were technical experts at all, or even understood the technology. Just a lot of bloviating and pontificating about grandiosity. A lot of talk about job loss, very irresponsible. We haven't seen mass job loss, and economically, we don't really know that that's what's going to happen, and it doesn't appear that a job apocalypse is going to be happening, but a lot of talk, a lot of superlatives. This is the last moment humanity has to rein this in. This is the most important revolution ever. Maybe it is, but what's happening here is pretty clear. The grandiose message is rewarded by the media, right? This idea of superintelligence and AGI. Now, I'm going to tell you that there's no reasonable path forward through machine learning to human-like intelligence. Certainly not superintelligence, but this is an immature field, and CEOs like Dario Amodei and Sam Altman aren't really used to this, and the media just keeps rewarding it. The more sensational the claims, even if they're negative, the more of a pat on the back they get. And Dario Amodei has been famous for this. He wrote something, The Adolescence of Technology, in which he just pontificated about all the worst case scenarios and why he is so important. And it's really taken over. But superintelligence as a concept is flawed. It's poorly defined. And what they don't tell you, and what many of these people probably don't know, is that there are limitations in current machine learning. Machine learning models don't have persistent experiential memory. They can't learn new things and modify their behavior on the fly. They're not capable of evaluating truthfulness. It's inherent to the architecture, but it's a more compelling story that gets you in the news. And speaking of getting in the news, have you heard of Something Big is Coming? A viral essay by some idiot. Who is it? Matt Schumer. Yeah, Matt Schumer, AI expert and CEO. Is he, though? Well, he's the CEO of a small startup, but he's not an AI expert. He's one of those venture capital types. His one claim to fame is that a while ago he claimed to have built his own AI model, which turned out to be a lie. He was just redirecting people to Claude in a wrapper, but he claimed he had developed an AI model with new capabilities. He's just some young guy who wrote a viral essay and now claims to be some sort of oracle. You see how that works? It's all over the news because he said, "Ooh, it's going to take jobs, it's going to hurt people." It gets you in the news. The media rewards this. But it's not honorable. It's very harmful. Andrew Yang's another person all over the news. Why? Because he wrote an op-ed about how AI will cost everybody their jobs. Did he have anything, insightful to contribute? No, but it's very on brand for him. AI will cost all the white collar jobs and then all the dog walkers and the dry cleaners. This is actually causing harm. Believe it or not, people are changing careers or they're apprehensive about getting educations. People are being held back. Psychiatrists and psychologists have reported that career anxiety due to the perception of AI has really hurt people. And it's pushing policy in the wrong direction too, this idea of fictional godlike superintelligence. I'm telling you, and I'll give you more architectural reasons in the future, that's not possible with any foreseeable technology. No, we are not moving towards that. None of the people at these conferences seem to understand that it's really the trustworthiness, verification, and workflow integration parts that are holding AI back. The reason that AI hasn't taken over more jobs isn't the fact that it's not capable on a model level. It's the fact that it hasn't been well integrated into workflows, automated, and frameworks for verification and reversibility and auditing and approval do not exist, and that's really the problem. But what you see is a lot of the TED Talk crowd, right? People who want to give you a 100,000-foot view. Another thing that's come up recently is a lot of talk about how AI experts are resigning in droves because they think the world is in peril or we're in some terrible situation. They're resigning in protest. And most recently, Marinak Sharma, that was just a couple of weeks ago, resigned from Anthropic, saying the world is in peril and quits to study poetry. Study poetry. That should tell you something. What we're seeing here isn't that they're quitting in protest. If they really felt that AI was imperiling the world, they'd stay in the field and stay advocating it. These frontier labs are pressure cookers. It's a very high stress, very fast moving field. And some people have quit for legitimate philosophical reasons. You have a lot of idealistic people in these frontier labs. So they quit because they don't believe in advertisements being added to AI, or they don't believe in allowing not safe for work content. Those are both two reasons why people left AI labs recently. But the idea that they're afraid that it won't be in alignment and therefore could cause harm or attack people or do bad things, no. That's a completely synthetic narrative because it sells newspapers, it sells clicks, right? And ironically, it is AI, the AI algorithm, that promotes that sensationalization. But it is hurting people because, again, people are being stressed out. The economy is being hurt by it. The stock market has been hurt by a number of moves that include potentially some fear of an AI white-collar jobs apocalypse. Again, while it may seem logical to think that one would happen, the empirical evidence is that one is not happening, has not happened. And history tells us that while there may be sector disruptions, a wholesale loss of employability of large segments of the population is just not really something that an economy allows to happen without somehow readjusting. And historically, productivity gains have normally resulted in not less employment and layoffs, but sometimes hardening of job markets and role changes. We've already seen that 95% of AI adoption efforts have failed, and that does go back to the workflow integration. But at the end of the day, this kind of doomerism, it's in such peril that I'm going off to study poetry. Very poetic, isn't it? Yeah, this is what gets your name in the paper. It's rewarded. It is absolutely rewarded. AI safety researchers who protest and write some sort of essay, it goes viral. Meaningless AI, quote unquote, CEOs of insignificant startups who have a history of deception, write an essay, make it as doomer and as pessimistic as you can, and it will go viral. Going to an AI conference, talk about grandiosity, superintelligence. Now, AI is revolutionary. AI can do a lot of things, but AI is just technology. It has no intent. It will not become superintelligence. The idea of recursive self-improvement, I know it looks fun on paper, but it's an overly simplistic view of how AI models are built. In fact, a lot of the intelligence you see is really an illusion created by a lot of fine-tuning and human preference tuning and intervention. And again, the overwhelming majority of people you hear talking at a conference or anything are not experts in the technology. And while they may not think that's important, they don't know what they don't know. They don't know its limitations. They don't know how it's developed. They don't know why it can do things and why it can't do others. They don't know why it hasn't been adopted into workflows. So this level of sensationalization is unfortunate, but perhaps it's to be expected. You know, I was just scrolling through YouTube and I saw a new video coming out where some old guy who has no background in AI was pontificating about why AI wants to become a god. No, AI doesn't want anything. AI has no intent. AI is just an amazing, high-capable form of technology. But it's not intelligent in the human sense. It's not super intelligent. The world is not in peril, and jobs may be disrupted, but some idea that humanity is simply not ready for this tech or that it needs to be shut down, well, that's just how you get yourself a lot of interviews. Doesn't mean it's true.